There we go. For BUS 2213 Principles of Business Live Lecture 4, we have just a few things to go over tonight, guys, because I know so many of you have other things to attend to tonight, whether it's family or making a late stop fair or taking care of children or maybe working on a business plan. I know there's lots of things to be done, right? Might even be making a late supper. So let's go on to our final week. We may have just a little bit of a shorter class tonight. And all right, I think I've got everybody down. This is our final week. I want to talk about the final project again right off the bat because I like to get that out of the way. And it also gives you a little time to think about it while we're having our regular lecture. And sometimes classes or questions will come to mind for you while we're doing that. So great. Hi, Taylor. Get Taylor down as well. Okay, great. So in week 1, for our business plan, you came up with your product or service description. In week 2, we came up with the company name and business form. You chose that. In week 3, last week, we came up or discussed building your executive summary. And hopefully you've worked on that a little bit over the past week. And so tonight, we're going to touch on 3 basic things that are also part of your business plan: objectives, mission statement, and location. And I know some of you have already completed your business plan because I've had a couple turned in, and they're really looking great so far. They really are. I'm impressed. So just to kick it off, since we're talking about business, the power of one, at age 6, these are just some things to think about. Tiger Woods practiced his golf swing in the mirror while listening to motivational tapes. I wonder if he picked that up on his own. Martha Stewart catered birthday parties in elementary school because babysitting didn't pay well. She's a forward thinker, right? And now she's a millionaire. Sean Diddy Combs sold term papers and party tickets at Howard University, so he's always been making money. Richard Branson said his mom would shove him out the car when he was 6 and tell him to find his way home. Oh my goodness. I don't recommend that one. And lastly, Condoleezza Rice got out of bed every day at 4:30 a.m. to spend 2 hours practicing ice skating before school. So that's some dedication, and those are some great examples of hard work, right? So on to dedication and hard work. Our grading rubric, I always like to bring this back up. We've talked about the final project, if you're doing it in PowerPoint. You're probably going to have a minimum of at least 10 to 11 slides. So I would like each one of these to put on a separate slide and be sure and label each slide so I know exactly what it is. We have, if you look at the top of the page, let me get my pointer out again. Let's use tonight the sunshine because I'm cold and I need a little sunshine in my life right now. I'm trying to adjust to fall. So we come up with company name and executive summary, right? 2 things we're going to talk about tonight, and I put those in purple: company objective, mission statement. You've already picked out type of formation. So that pretty much covers your company overview, right? So you should be feeling fairly comfortable with that. Next, products and services section. You've chosen what your company will be. You've come up with your competitive advantage, the thing that's going to make you different from your competitors. And you've also come up with your ideal location. So we're going to talk about that one tonight too. Then you'll notice it is in purple as well. Next, your market analysis. Do your industry by phone people that you know that are in the business. And if you cannot find competitors in your area or in your state, don't be afraid to branch out to searching in other states as well, because maybe they have started this in their home state and it's going great. Management summary. You're going to come up with a list of jobs and positions and skills for each person. Now, I know a lot of you are starting off fairly small, so your list of job positions may actually be fairly short. It may just be you and a partner, in fact. Or if it's a sole proprietorship, perhaps it's just you. That's okay too. And then for the organizational chart, show me what the hierarchy is. Who will be president, who will be manager, who will be worker bees. So you have those lined out. And if they are all you, that's your organizational chart, just you. And lastly, your citations. You need to have at least 5 sources. And I had someone send me an email on this today, so I want to straighten that out. Let me see. Oh, Stephanie, I mentioned that. Never mind. Hey, Stephanie, since you left and come back, are you having problems hearing as well? We had that happen earlier. Can you hear me okay? Want to make sure we're not having some strange glitch tonight. She's typing up a little bit for me, so hopefully she can hear me okay. Not hearing, but your words weren't matching your mouth. They were cutting in and out. Gotcha. Is it better now? It's fixed. Okay, good, good. I know that happens from time to time, and sometimes I'll just stop and pause and sort of let things catch back up so that it makes more sense. It's almost like watching a movie that's subtitled. I know that's confusing. Exactly. Okay, so, down at the bottom then our citations. I had someone send me an email. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but they said, was it you, Stephanie? Okay, great, good. You're my good example tonight. Why do we need 5 sources, or do we really need 5 sources? You do need to have 5 sources, and the first one should probably be your textbook. So be sure to put that one on there, because when we refer directly to with the page 169 in our textbook that talks about business plans. So I'm sure you visited that page, therefore it is one of your sources. You might also have used websites to look up terms, to look at business plan examples, or to research your competitors. So you can use all those websites as one of your 5 sources. And then lastly, slide aesthetics. How do they look? When you're putting together a PowerPoint presentation, I think the most important thing is that you pick a format and you stick to it. For example, maybe you pick a background and then you choose what font you'll be using. You'll pick what color print you'll be using. And you may even pick what style of clip art or pictures you're using. Now, from a professional standpoint, I have to say that it looks better if you pick one or the other, either pictures or clip out. Clip art's a little more cartoony, drawn pictures, and photographs, of course, are more real people. So find and discover anything they might want to buy online. Google's mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible, and useful. We can all love our Google. And lastly, Chili's Bar and Grill mission is to spice up everyday life. Spice it up. Okay? So you're going to develop your own mission statement for your computer. Oh, that's okay, Issa. I completely understand. I understand. Sometimes computers don't work well for us. Mine does the same thing. Okay, let's talk about your company goals or objectives. I like for you to use actually either term. There is a little crossover in those terms. Goals need to be, or objectives need to be specific and measurable, tied to a time frame, realistic, and challenging. Let's not shoot for the moon for these first set of goals and objectives. I believe I have a few examples. Okay, here's an example of a goals and objectives flow chart. I really liked this one because it ties it to the mission. So what I would like for you to do, because this might help you set your goals and objectives, is to write your mission statement first. And after you've written that, you can then come up with your goals, and your objectives are the steps for achieving those goals. So in this example, they have 3 different goals. Word for Word is a secretarial service company that provides word processing and computer graphics services for companies in the San Francisco Bay Area. So notice that they even pointed out their target market. Our mission is to build a reputation among local businesses as the most knowledgeable, most reliable, and friendliest word processing resource around. And those are all fantastic goals. So you notice they've broken down. Goal 1, enhance staff expertise. They want to have expert staff. Goal 2, increase brand awareness. So they want people to know about them and their reputation. And the last goal they've kind of chosen was improve customer service, because we know from our book, we know from what we've talked about, that customer service is so important. So if you look at each of those goals, you'll then see that they've broken it down into a couple objectives for each one. So this might be a good place to start. Write your company mission, choose your goals, and there's not a magic number. You might have 2, you might have 5. You choose the ones that are most important, and then work on your objectives for how you're going to achieve that goal. So enhancing staff experience, they're going to have regular training and seminars by 5/1. So they're saying we've got a date when this is going to be achieved. And 2, have all staff certified by 12/15. So they want everybody certified by December of 2015. So if you look at each of these objectives, you'll see that each of them have a date and a specific way to reach these goals. Does that kind of make sense? Does that help you kind of tie in the mission statement to the goals and objectives? I think that'll help kind of clarify things a little bit. And Samantha made it, yay! And down here. Good deal. Okay, and please know, guys, I really like this chart, and if you forget it, you can always go back to the recording that will be up tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I like to have the Blackboard version of the recording up, and by the afternoon, I'll have the YouTube version. It just takes a little bit longer to convert. So I'm still a newbie. I'm getting better at it. But just know that you can come back and look at this if you needed to by looking at the recording. Okay, next, here's a checklist for common business goals. And so if you want to look at this checklist, there may be a few of these that you would want to choose for your business objectives. Oh no! I'm sorry, Samantha. There's got to be a way to get that out. I hope they can fix it for you soon. I wonder if there's such thing as headphones checklist of common business goals. Improve customer satisfaction is always one of our big goals. Establish or increase brand awareness. So we want people to know about our business, our name, our logo, our slogan, our mission, all those important things. Find new markets for products, expand your product line, decrease time to market, so the amount of time it takes to get there. Improve employee satisfaction because we know our employees are very important. Increase management communication, reduce operational costs, generate new sources of revenue, become more entrepreneurial, and increase networking partners. So if you look at that list, maybe you'll see a couple that you can use as your business objectives as well. And come back to that if you need to, okay? Okay, next, let's talk about location real quick. Factors that affect location decision. Of course, are there utilities? Do you have electricity and clean water? And you know, the big reason that this is even up there, a good example is when you plan on opening a business in the country or maybe building a building that is not currently there, you can get into a lot of expense in getting electricity ran to your building and getting water as well and sewage. So these are factors to consider. Land, is there adequate land available for the facility? And how much does the land cost if you're building from scratch? Labor market conditions, are workers with the right skills available, and how expensive is the labor? You know, at community higher ed, we are frequently looking at the market to see what's needed, what type of workers are needed in the workforce in our area, and in others the same as well. Transportation factors, is the location your customers and suppliers, is that going to be at an expense? Is it easy to get the things that you need? Quality of life factors, what is the climate like? This one kind of cracks me up a little bit, but I have a good friend who is a teacher in Alaska, and she really lives through some amazing winters, and we get to see it on Facebook. She does things that I don't think I could. I just can't see myself being happy in a cold climate. I like my warmth a little too much. And some other people, though, might be really sick of the heat and not want to live or operate in a tropical area or a warmer area. Legal and political environment, is the local business support, local government support new businesses? What are the local taxes, fees, and regulations? So these are all things that you should check out. Also, do you have customers nearby? Can the customers get to your business easily? What's the history? Maybe you're looking at a building that has been there for a while. I know a lot of you have probably seen those places that it just doesn't seem like a business lasts very long where it's at. It's something about the location, it's something about the traffic, but I've seen lots of strip malls where businesses tend to go in and out very quickly, so you might want to check out the history of it as well. Oh, okay, good, good. Oh, you weren't seeing the words on the slide. Oh, wow. So you can see my sunshine, but not the words. Gotcha. So really shop around. One of my students, I don't think Megan is on here tonight. Her business idea was for a mobile dental lab, and I think that's a fantastic idea so that they can go dentist to dentist and create the things that are needed, and the patients can get fitted right away. Another thing that we're seeing in the dental industry are mobile dentists that can go to nursing homes or care facilities or individual homes, because our aging population, our senior citizens, becomes sort of homebound. It's hard for them to get out of the house, and the more services we can bring to them, the better. So you have to look at the climate, what's going on. Here's a few examples. There's Dana. sold the exclusive rights to the bottled beverage for $1. The New York Times discounted television. They thought it was just silly. The problem with television is that people must keep their eyes glued to a screen. The average American family hasn't time for it. Isn't that funny? We would have no time for TV. Former presidential candidate Ross Perot blew a chance to buy out Microsoft because he would not meet the asking price. So maybe he was a little too cheap. Mike Smith, who evaluates talent for Decca Records, rejected the Beatles in 1962. So those are all examples of bad business decisions. We don't want you to be there. Okay, I read this tonight and I thought it was really interesting. So interesting I wanted to pass it along to you quickly. Now I know that everyone in here doesn't really want to be an entrepreneur, and a lot of you probably don't even want to be in management. There's only a select few that really want to do that actually. But I hope that in this class you're going to get some of those skills just in case this opportunity ever arises. Here's the magic number 6 as far as management goes. And we've talked about this on our discussion board this week when you guys posted on Tuesday your interviews with people that were either happy, satisfied, or dissatisfied with their jobs. So evidently 6 is the number. 6 hours per week for each employee is how long the manager should spend with them. If they spend less, you're disengaged and you don't know what's going on. And if you spend more than 6 hours with your employees, then you're micromanaging. You're like a hover. So this was the result of a 32,000 people from the firm's leadership IQ. That's a pretty good sampling size, don't you think? So what they found out is this magic number of 6 hours per week. As people rose from 1 hour to 6 hours spent with their direct leaders, they became 29% more inspired about their work, 30% more engaged, 16% more innovative, and 15% more intrinsically motivated. So I thought those numbers were really fantastic. And you know, to me, I would think that 6 hours might be a little too much. That from this survey, they found out that that was where the magic number was. However, if managers need to interact with direct reports for 6 hours a week, they really can't manage more than 6 to 7 people. You can see how if you did have 50 people, you could spend 6 hours with them, right? And that's where our assistant managers and other lower management become more important in a big company. The main point is, no matter how big your company is, they need to know that you're there, that you're interested in them, that you want feedback from them, and that they're a valuable asset. And that's what I saw repeated over and over again on our discussion board. It was really interesting to read. We talked about, yes, exactly, David, team leads could definitely come in there. So maybe you have a team leader that takes care of 6 or 7 of those employees and spends direct time with them, and then they meet directly with management. Right. Job enrichment. Again, this came from the discussion board. Creating jobs with meaningful content and creative work. We want to use a variety of skills, have a task identity, task significance. You want to know that what you're doing is important. You want to have a certain amount of autonomy and feedback. So we want to know if we're doing well. Slackers. I have to put this in here because I think the younger generation gets so much slack on this. Generation Y is changing the workforce. 76 million kids were born between the years of 1978 and 1998. So these are Gen Yers. Many believe they are less industrious. People will say, oh, they're so lazy. But what we're finding out is they're not less industrious, and actually they volunteer more than people from other generations. They also switch quickly between work and embrace fast previous generation, but it's in a different way, but it's very effective. They're very tech savvy, they're diverse, idealistic, fulfillment focused, goal driven, now focused, and change oriented. So they're very flexible. I just wanted to give a shout out to that group because I know we have quite a few in this course that would be considered a Generation Flyer. So good job. The move to be lean and green. You want to think about this with your business. So, first of all, it's good for our environment. Second of all, it's a fantastic marketing tool. We want to eliminate waste, improve our efficiency, reduce inventory, and be green in the supply chain and in your business ethics and how your building is built. Maybe you have the opportunity to add solar electricity or wind energy, or what are some other examples of how your core area might use a green material or might utilize a green building? Can you think of any examples? Dana, I know one of yours just right off the top of my head. What could you do in your core area to be more green? Or maybe your specific business. Thinking. Well, what I thought of, Dana, was since yours is mobile, choosing a vehicle that's going to be more green, right? Maybe there's a van out there that's a hybrid. Reduce emissions, reduce use of gas. And you may also be able to add a little solar panel to the top of that roof. Recycling, exactly, Stephanie. And so you want to recycle, you want to get your employees recycling, and you also want to sort of announce that to your customers that you're recycling so that they know you're a green business, right? A small version of wind energy. You know, that's one thing we have a lot of in Oklahoma. We have lots of wind, don't we? Especially in northeast and the central area. We don't have a lot of mountains blocking that air. In child care, recycling and getting rid of waste properly is a huge deal. Yes, it is daily. And I know one thing that you do in child care too is recycling and reusing products. So maybe using things to create art with instead of buying new. Maybe you're using the ink carton for another purpose or plastic jugs. And so a great thing would be then sitting home those projects. I've seen one where they made robots out of cereal boxes and, you know, just basically things that were getting ready to go to recycling. Exactly. And the place where you would locate Stephanie would be a perfect place for a windmill. Oh, great. Yeah, and I think they're finally getting that cleared in Oklahoma too for us to get more what's it called, a wind farm. So maybe one of you will own a wind farm someday. So anyway, just start thinking along those lines because it's important for us, it's important for our environment, but it's also important to pull more business our way as well because it looks really good business. Okay? And Kathy, you just made it. I'm sorry. It's just the time for the last slide. So I told you we'd probably have a little bit of a short class tonight, and we did. It's 8:38. So at this time, does anybody have any questions? Are you okay with your app in the class? Are you progressing nicely on your business plan? Of course, I'll be available off and on all weekend as well to answer questions if you get stuck on that. Oh, I'm sorry, Kat. Well, we're sorry you missed it, Kathy. You'll have to go back and look at the recording though, because I think you'll get some more insight from it. I'll have it posted, the Blackboard recording, tomorrow morning. Oh, good. So you're almost done with your PowerPoint. Great. Hey, no do to get a hold of me if you get stuck on this and need a little assistance. I'd be glad to help out. And thanks for being in class. I'm glad you've been here. Bye-bye, guys. Good night.